right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another race in the 2023 Pokemon Crystal Full Item Randomizer Tournament. Today we have Fox, KHP versus chunktastic in another first round match. I am Ivy, and with me is Bash Attack.
Hello, everybody.
And we should be underway shortly. And we will, I think we should, yeah. Should begin very soon.
Very, very soon.
And yeah, we will of course, first thing we'll be seeing is the starters, looking for a good main, hopefully, but no big deal if we don't.
Yeah, I feel like in these races, it's really important to either get a really good main at the start or be 100% prepared to pivot.
Yeah. Okay, so Fox choosing to set nighttime here, while chunktastic just heading straight in. Okay, Fox's stream has frozen or something. That's not a good sign.
I think they're syncing timers right now.
Yeah, most likely.
But over on Chunk's side, we're starting with the Fog Badge.
Wow, very quick. Yeah, looks like the streams are just syncing up. It should be perfect in a second, but yeah. Setting nighttime on Fox's side can be for a variety of reasons. I mean, the main reason is for levels. There are a couple places, like Victory Road, that you actually encounter higher level Pokemon at nighttime than in the daytime. And so in some cases, if you're doing a main switch, that can come in useful. Yeah, Chunk taking the Feraligatr, that seems like the best choice of the three, although Charizard is also good, but the problem is that if you have the Charizard, you are giving your rival the Feraligatr, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, Charizard is also very, very allergic to Rock-type moves, so
yes.
You are running the risk that if you run into an Ancient Power or something like that, that you are probably going to faint.
And we get Surf immediately. So first two items, Surf Fog Badge. So now we have full Surf access immediately.
So with Surf this early, does that change how you would route it, or would you continue the main route?
I mean, you immediately can Surf and get like a level 20. So that changes things already. So it'll be very interesting to see this.
And of course, going with Feraligatr too, that is Stab Surf, same type attack bonus, so that's going to do a little bit extra damage too.
Yeah, and the Feraligatr also had Dig. So Dig is always nice because you can avoid buying most escape ropes. And yeah, so both players seem to be just surfing immediately. Ooh, chunktastic, it looks like, did not save, and so wiped to a wild encounter, unable to catch it. Catch rate is for everything is exactly a 1 in 3 chance.
Fox also wiping here back to the center.
That's at least a little bit better than all the way back to Bark.
And it seems like this seed really wants to force Charizard on the runners.
We know where Elm got his Charizard now. So did either of them... I didn't think either of them actually caught anything, is that correct?
I think they both tried to catch that Arcanine and both didn't get the catch.
I mean, what you really should do in this case is you should just save and then start getting encounters and then just throw balls at literally anything until you catch it. There's a Raikou on... There are some amazing Pokemon. Raikou and Charizard are both very runnable. Feraligatr's runnable as a starter, Charizard's runnable as the starter and on the route, but having full Surf access, you don't want any of it.
Right, they're really very good main choices, but with having access to those level almost 20s in the Surf routes, kind of hard to take any of those options.
Like the level 16 or 17 Arcanine with the move Surf, because you can also just teach that, is much more than enough to get you through it. Pretty much anything until probably Bugsy. Okay, Fox just choosing, both of them just choosing to just fight the first trainer immediately, rather than catch something. Still ample time to catch something before starting Sprout Tower, but...
Yeah, and this is the only forced battle on the first route, so you really only have to make it through this before worrying about catching a better main.
Ooh, very scary for Chunk over there, because he used Dig, and the Jolteon used Earthquake. So that'll do double damage, but luckily he survives. So not another wipe, thankfully. But yeah, both of them tried one encounter, both of them wiped exactly one time so far. Neither of them actually caught anything, so it's just even. But yeah, Surf and Fog Badge's first two items is just, it's crazy. One thing about a lot of these is that a lot of the time you'll get Surf and Fog Badge at some point in the initial section, and then you'll have to do a bunch of backtracking to go check all of these Surf checks, but you can just do them now.
Ooh, unfortunately, Fox hitting that optional trainer right there.
Yeah, that is a little unfortunate, unless he plans to run the Charizard, because then it's just, you know, you can just pretend it was intentional for free XP.
That's the strat I take when I'm streaming this.
But yeah, as you can see, Chunk over here able to just go straight to do these two Surf checks in Violet. I don't know, I hopefully entered the center or saved, because you can get an encounter and you might just die. Clefairy. Not as good as that Arcanine earlier, but yeah, you catch anything at this point. Oh yes, Chunk does also have Machine Part. Thank you for... I think they both got him so quickly, it was, Oh, and the pass. Did Chunk also... I'm assuming Chunk also picked up the pass then. I wasn't paying attention.
Or is about to.
No, because he had already made it to Violet. Oh, and he did wipe, unfortunate. Yeah, I will mark the pass here for both of them as well. That also kind of changes things. Because with the pass, you can go to Kanto and just switch to a level 30-something as well.
Yeah, you have a few options there. I think the most notable would be in the Vermilion Harbor, and in Vermilion, there's level 30s there.
Good point. Yeah, you already have full Surf access, so you can just... Yeah, wow. Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure why these players, like, you really should, anytime you have Surf like this early, you need to be saving anytime you're surfing, because with the catch rate, if you get unlucky, you just die, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Right. Chunk picked up the Mystery Egg also. That's interesting, because that would potentially be another check back in New Bark if he wanted to backtrack.
Yeah, so far Chunk just rolling with the Feraligatr. That might just be because you do have the pass, you don't want to, like... Because initially your thought is, wow, I can get like a level 18, level 20, level something like that really early right now, and that'll just be my main the whole time. But now you've got the pass, and you're like, well, my next stop is Kanto eventually, so I'll just be switching again. So if I think that what I have now is good enough, I can just roll with it. So Chunk just heading through Sprout Tower, while Fox deciding to check the escape rope room first.
Nothing of note in the escape rope room other than maybe a nugget. It's good for money, but honestly, at this point in the game, they probably have all the money they need, at least for this early section.
Yup. Looks like Fox's stream freezing up a little bit again, so I will switch the audio over. We'll, hopefully that gets back soon. Oh, yep, there it is. Hope we didn't miss an important item or anything. Max Revive there is nice, just some nice safety.
Yeah, always nice to have a max revive or any revive early in the game. Um, just in case you come across something that decides to completely demolish you and warp you back or almost warp you back.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just nothing you can do, and the easiest way to get through a fight is to just die and revive. Although I don't know if he has another Pokemon to even revive with.
Yeah, that's true. Neither player has a second Pokemon yet.
So I think the Feraligatr was the one with Dig, so I think Chunk should have been able to just use Dig there rather than biking all the way back out. But maybe he forgot. Or was
I
it the
think it was
Charizard
Fox.
with Dig?
It was the Charizard, I believe.
Oh, my bad then. Well, then he should have bought some escape ropes first, but no big deal.
So yeah, Chunk just kind of proceeding right now through the Violet City gym. Um, Pretty quick gym, 2 trainers, and then the leader.
Yep. Is completely you do have to do this no matter what anyways, unless you get the squirt bottle early. So even if they decided they didn't want the items right now, you kind of have to do this anyway.
Yeah, there is an NPC that prevents you from progressing in the game until you've beaten this gym.
Yep.
The Sprout Tower is optional, but with all the trainers and all the items, it's kind of a risky move to skip over it, unless you have something like the squirt bottle or something that opens up a lot more of the game for you.
And on Fox's side, getting hit by thunder from this Hoppip, and it's doing oh, and he's yep.
Yep,
That's exactly the type of thing we were talking about that can happen.
that's exactly why it's not a bad idea, even early game, to just have a second Pokemon in your party and just revive if you need to.
So somebody wondering if you need to know where every single item in the game is to play this, and kind of. This mode is extreme for the first stage of the tournament, so you don't need to know where the hidden items are, or the berry trees, or any of the day-related items for the specific settings. But for stage 2, all of that stuff will, I think, be back in, and so then you will need to know every item, literally every item, pretty much. But yeah, there's a very, very helpful tracker that you can look at and mark off things as you do it that will tell you, like, hey, this is what you have available to you right now. It makes it a lot easier to pick this up if you're just starting for your first time.
Yeah, the tracker is, I would say, almost necessary when you're first starting out.
I apologize for the freezing that we're seeing here. I'm not sure why that's happening. Oh, the Charizard learning Ice Beam. Quite nice.
That's a very good move. And Chunk is seeing that item that we missed before on the freeze from Fox. That's a rare candy.
Yes.
I don't know about UIB. I like to wait until the very end of the game to use those, unless I have something that is, really, really in need of a boost right now.
Yeah, rare candy's like, rare candy's always one level, but as you level up, it requires more experience, so you're getting the most, like, bang for your buck if you wait until the very end. Although sometimes if you reach a point where you're like, okay, all I have left is Kanto Gym Leaders, you may as well just use them then. It can make the fights a bit faster. So Chunk getting around to checking the escape rope room here. Oh, and hatching the egg. Let's see what the egg is. A Slowpoke. Looks like Fox is heading all the way back up Sprout Tower to try and beat the Elder that he died to just a minute ago. With that, it seems like Chunk is probably ahead, so switching the audio again. And yeah, with that, we've done pretty much everything available right now in Violet, and so we will head on south to Union Cave and Azalea. And so yeah, so Faulkner gave out the Smoke Ball, which is an item that makes you always able to run from wild Pokemon, because if you're slower than a wild Pokemon, normally there's a chance that you are unable to run. But in this case, the Smoke Ball will allow you to always run, and so that's actually really nice to have with these surf encounters that we might be getting that are higher level than us and faster.
Chunk also getting the Marsh badge over there on the right. The Kanto badge is not as important. They don't offer any progression item boost, but still, you need all 16 to be able to go to Battle Red, so still a
Yep.
good find.
Yeah, end goal is having all 16 badges, and there's another one.
And now the Zephyr badge, too. Zephyr badge is intra and strength, too. Wow.
Every time we were about to say something, there's just
Yeah.
another key item.
I was just about to say, if with the Zephyr badge now, Chunk has the option to go back up that route and talk to one of the NPCs that in the vanilla game gives you, I believe, a Miracle Seed.
Yes. Yeah, it's that same guy that actually blocks you off from going south if you have the Zephyr badge, which normally in vanilla you always would. He'll give you a Miracle Seed. And yeah, so here Chunk heading down to the basement of Union Cave. There are 2 items down there. Again, normally something you would end up backtracking for, but with how early Surf was, just gonna grab it right now. And this is where that Smoke Ball is gonna come in real handy, because you've got a level 14 maybe right about now, and there's a decent chance that a lot of these things are gonna be faster than you, but you'll always be able to run away with that Smoke Ball. No need to be afraid of wiping as earlier. You could also consider catching some of these if you see something that you're interested in. And yeah, Chunk has decided that this Kingler is something he wants either for repelling purpose. Oh, and well,
that's not what you like to see.
I guess there is a way for you to die to this still, and it's called explosion.
That was the thing that none of us expected.
No, I was not expecting that. I have a slight suspicion that Chunk will not be attempting to catch another Kingler.
Or he'll be saving a lot more often down here,
Yes,
so that
yes.
if he does wipe, that he can reset.
Fox deciding to do the exact same thing, heading down to grab these 2 items. You just want to be grabbing until you have Fly. You just want to be grabbing pretty much almost as many things as you can do that are near you, even if they may be a little annoying.
Yeah, Fly really opens the game up, makes it a lot easier to backtrack. Seeds where you don't get Fly until later in the game are just slow and not much fun to play.
Yeah. Did Chunk get both items down there, or did he? I'm not sure if he actually got both. I think he did. But again, died and reset after trying to catch something.
Now Chunk is going to be heading into Slowpoke Well. Or not, actually talking to Kurt to start that process, but then moving right on to Ilex right away.
Yeah, so did Center and Azalea entered the center really quickly. Makes me think that the plan here is going to be to do some of the items by Goldenrod, and then you can just, with the pass that we have, you can take the train to Kanto, and as you said, you can get up to a level 39, I believe, in the water near Vermilion City. So my guess is he's going to do that, do some checks in Kanto, and then just take a wipe all the way back to Azalea and do some stuff from there. Fox unfortunately hitting this optional here at the end of Union Cave.
And unfortunately with that stream freeze, we missed a couple of these items from Chunk. Hopefully they weren't too terribly important.
Yeah, did get the Lovely Kiss TM, which is actually extremely good.
And Chunk getting the radio card, that is one of the 3 necessary components to make the... And there's the Storm Badge, too.
Yep. But yeah, the, what's it called? The Lovely Kiss TM, sleep moves are really, really strong, because on red, you can use an X accuracy so that you never miss your moves, and then you can just continuously put his Pokemon to sleep and get essentially free setup other than the one wake-up turn. it can trivialize fights that might otherwise be nearly impossible. Okay, looks like we did not miss any important items in Ilex. Checking the stream. And yeah, Fox deciding to just do Slowpoke well.
Yeah, not a bad choice. It does open up 2 item checks. And if he does plan on running that Charizard, it's experience.
Yeah. Oh, man. Lovely. Yeah, again, not much we can do about the technical issues with the freezing. Hopefully it's not too big of a deal to you guys. But there's not much we can do about that on our end. But yeah, it will be interesting to see just how much Chunk does decide to do in Goldenrod before heading over to Kanto. Probably too low level to realistically do Whitney's gym at this point, but might head north and do the items by National Park. And there's Fly, which is just full Fly access.
Having full fly this early is very, very, very useful.
Yeah, so the play of skipping Azalea completely pays off because you don't even have to do any backtracking or death warping or anything. You just have Fly. So yeah, this is extremely early full Fly and full Surf access.
Definitely rewarding the runners for skipping over certain parts of the early game that they can go back to once they have something a little bit stronger, and
Absolutely.
those battles turn into one move, 1, 2, 3 done, rather than a grind.
Right, like Fox, you could like on that Sneasel, for example, on the final rocket, taking, a couple turns to defeat it, but with a level 39, you're gonna one-shot everything.
Fox getting the Poke Gear from Kurt after finishing Slowpoke well, so that turned out to be a good choice on his part.
Yes, so Chunk will at some point have to head back to Azalea and do that Slowpoke well section eventually. Hopefully unfreezes soon. If it lasts too long, maybe we'll switch it over. Alright, yeah, we'll do that. Fox going to fight Bugsy now. Oh, there we go, Chunk's back. Does not look like we've missed anything important. Just the old rod.
Yeah, and Chunk in Saffron City now. 3 quick checks here.
Yeah, normally with Kanto, it's a bit annoying. Oh, there's Flamethrower TM, that's quite
Flamethrower
nice.
TM is good to have.
Yeah. But normally with Kanto, it's a bit annoying because you've got, like, you've got one check that you have to go north for, well, although you end up coming back down. You've got some stuff in Saffron, you've got some stuff south of Lavender, you've got a check in Vermilion, you've got all the way down Cycling Road into fighting Janine in Fuchsia. It's all these different locations and all this backtracking, and it's hard to go back and forth, but we have Fly. We can just do whatever we want. You can just prioritize the fastest checks now. That's what makes Fly so powerful.
Yeah, and Chunk checking the Mart here in Celadon. The good part about checking both the Goldenrod and the Celadon Marts is you have 2 sets of TMs, and you can pick and choose and hopefully find something to use on your main that'll be powerful and wipe through everybody quick.
Yep. You can also pick up some X items if you have enough money, and importantly, these super repels. I'm assuming that we're not just staring at the super repels and that that's a freeze. Oh, good. A double freeze. Amazing.
It does make sense that we are frozen, though. Fox hovering over Ice Beam right now. If only we could use Chunktastic's flamethrower TM, we'd be in business again. But Chunk is checking Cycling Road now, probably looking for a potential main switch.
Yeah, so checking the water in Vermilion really would be better for higher levels, but maybe not aware that those levels are that much higher. Only checking one slot and then leaving, maybe he's realized. Oh, exactly. We will see. Meanwhile, Fox did not pick up anything important off of Bugsy while it was frozen there. Let's switch this back over to Chunk. Yeah, once again, we will let you know if there's anything important picked up during the freezes. I know it's not the best situation, but just gonna have to deal with it. ClickChunk does not have Sweet Scent, which is nice to have a lot of the time. Can make getting these surf encounters much, much faster. And Charizard!
And there's a Charizard. Like
Again.
I said, Charizard, the ROM is really pushing the Charizard tonight.
Yeah, so we've seen a Charizard on the starter table, a Charizard on Route 30, and now a Charizard in Vermilion Water. And we have a Flamethrower TM, so yeah, this will be a good main. Assuming
Allergic to rock
can...
type, but it's, you know, sometimes you got to worry about those hits and deal with it as they come.
Luckily, rock moves are not very common. There's not too many. Okay, looks like it comes with wing attack as well.
That's
How
also
lovely.
Stab. And Chunk also teaching flamethrower right away too. So
yes. And Feraligatr learning to fly.
Meanwhile, Fox digging back to Azalea Town. He is going to check the charcoal item in the house. That only unlocks after you return Farfetch to the owners.
Yeah, but you can only do that after you've done the well completely.
Chunks Feraligatr now standing on top of the Pokemon Center.
Amazing. Yeah, so Fox should be picking up the radio card pretty soon here. And Chunk has decided to, with his new extremely strong main, go beat up some level 9 rockets with his level 38 Charizard with Flamethrower Wing Attack.
He is going to make quick work of them, that's for sure.
I wonder who's going to win. But yeah, there's the radio card for Fox. And so we know Chunk does need to do this because the Pokegear is behind this. Ooh, little surf shortcut.
Yeah, I don't think I saw Chunk do that.
No,
Fox getting the Storm Badge now too.
I don't know if that's... I mean, I would guess it must be faster, but I actually don't know if it is faster. It would have to be... There's not too many extra steps to just go, and then you've got the 2 surf text boxes. I wonder if that was just on-the-fly thought, or if it's been timed. I believe we did miss marking strength at some point, probably during one of the freezes for Fox, so I will get that marked right now.
And now Chunk gonna go back to Kurt's house and get that key item that he missed. Oh, he forgot to talk to him though.
Ooh, that's not good because that item is actually the Pokegear. That could be very problematic in the future.
Right.
Yeah, once you've completed Slowpoke well, you talk to Kurt. Normally he gives you a lure ball, I want to say, because that's his whole deal. He makes different special types of Pokeballs for you. And that item in this case happens to be the Pokegear, which is 100% required to complete the game. So hopefully Chunk at some point remembers to go back and do that item. Maybe on his way back to fight Bugsy after he's... Oh, okay. Looks like he did realize it. Saved. And so he has picked up the Pokegear. I'm sure that he is feeling a massive sense of relief, if that was not an intentional skip. Yes, this is a head-to-head race.
Chunk also opting to go the long way around with the Farfetch'd.
And now we get to look at the bike shop call. Ooh, I'm not sure what happened with the cropping there, suddenly changing. Oh, there it goes, fixed itself. Right as he picks up Fly, right on time.
Perfect timing right there. Didn't miss anything. Now Fox is going to do the check that in the vanilla game would give you the Pokegear. Only a revive this time, though.
Yeah, so far I would say that Chunk is probably a little bit in the lead just because he's already got his main, and Fox is going to have to catch up and do a few things in Kanto and then also get a main, but it is fairly close. No one really has anything. Actually, I think they have just exactly the same key items now that the Fox has picked up Fly. Fox heading to do Whitney, which we have not seen yet, so...
Did Chunk go back and pick up the gear?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Immediately after fighting Rival, it looked like he's like, oh wait, I realized I didn't do this. Yeah, that would be awful if you just reach a point where you're like, well, I've done everything, I forgot something. That's just the worst
I feel,
feeling.
Yeah, everybody that's run this category has to know that feeling at least once, and I know it a little bit too well.
Yeah. Don't worry, though. Not gonna happen during the tournament. You're gonna do perfectly fine.
I can only hope.
I believe. Yeah, let's see what Whitney gives us. Z move Trickums was defeated. The coin case and a PP up. Yeah, so in a interesting turn of events, we've got a level 23 Charizard and a level 40 Charizard, 39.
The game just wanted it to happen.
Can't wait until Kenya is also a Charizard. Yeah, Chunk picking up the Water Stone there, you need that to open up the Water Stone chamber, just like we had the Escape Rope chamber earlier. That's just 4 items once you have Strength and a Water Stone.
Yeah, the 4 chambers in the Ruins of Elf require that you've defeated Ho-Oh, and also Flash is the other HM necessary.
Yeah, you don't have to defeat the Ho, you just have to encounter it. You know, you can catch it or you can run away, but actually in Vanilla, I think you have to have it in your party. But for this, so we don't bother you, it's just talk to the Ho-Oh.
Yeah, that's just one of the many quality of life changes made in Speed Choice and in the Randomizer.
Like the text, you may not be able to tell, I know it looks so similar, but the text is actually faster than normal.
I heard, Ivy, that for your next match, you're going to actually set it to fast text instead of instant, just to demonstrate that it's basically the same.
You know, I don't think I will. I think I'm going to pass on that one.
Can't say I didn't try. Can't say I didn't try.
And Chunk taking on Whitney here to get the coin case. But yeah, so we've got a decent amount of stuff open to us, but we are still looking for either the squirt bottle or the SS ticket to give us access to North Johto. All the line, Ekritique, all of those areas. 'Cause that is probably the biggest chunk of the game once you've got access to those. That's when you've got a lot of checks to go through.
Looks like Chunk is about to battle the trainer, or is battling, or has finished battling the trainer that gives you the Yanma call in the vanilla game. If you haven't played the vanilla game, there are a few Pokemon that only appear in outbreaks, and this trainer's one of them. But in this run, just required to get past him to pick up the item ball down there.
Yes. Yeah, so I think we missed it in both cases, but one of the items in National Park was the Rock Smash TM, so they do both have access to Rock Smash now. None of that stuff's in Logic, because normally you can only get Rock Smash after using the Squirt Bottle and encountering the Sudowoodo. Oh, we're gonna see Chunk get it right here, actually. Perfect timing. Got some delay, so I had to check in on the individual streams just to make sure that we're not missing anything too important. So you've got to, I can just see the future now, you know. But yeah, none of this, with the way the randomizer works, none of the Rock Smash checks are going to be, ooh. None of the Rock Smash checks are in Logic until you have the Squirt Bottle. Chunk just picked up the expansion card, which means we now have all 3 parts of the Pokegear, which means we have access to the level 50 Snorlax.
And with the level 40 Charizard, or level 39, I suppose, and there's Silverwing too. I wonder if he's going to rush Vermilion now and go for that level 50 check.
Yeah, you almost certainly at least check what it is. This level 40 Charizard is close enough in levels to level 50 that, like, in a lot of scenarios, you probably just stick with the Charizard. I mean, it has Flamethrower. You can't ask for much more than that. Flamethrower, Surf, just need like one other decent move.
I think the only thing I would main switch for on the level 50 would be potentially maybe like a level 50 Mewtwo with Psychic.
There are
But other than that,
definitely...
it's going to be hard to find something better than that.
There are definitely a decent number of Pokemon that are worth switching to that are better than Charizard, but you would also need them to have, like, a move. Like a Raikou or a Zapdos with pretty much any decent electric move is an immediate take. Espeon, Mewtwo, definitely. So Fox did encounter a Charizard, but then ran away, maybe hoping for something better. Like another Charizard.
Yeah, encountering it again, this time at level 35.
Meanwhile, Chunk heading over towards the Tojo Falls to check a couple items that are available with Surf. And yeah, looks like Chunk is heading to Vermilion as we expected to see what the level 50 is.
And Fox was able to get that Charizard.
Alright, taking bets. Chances that it's another Charizard. With this ROM, would not be surprised.
Oh, 100% not surprised if it happens.
Maybe for like some, you know, just to spice it up. Maybe it'll be a Charmeleon.
All right, time to find out. Everybody in chat, get your bets in now.
Damn.
So
That's
close.
not the Charmander line. Unlucky. And so Chunk going to head through Diglett's cave. Okay, so Fox is interacting with the trash cans. So in Crystal, you actually, there is no puzzle. You don't have to interact with the trash cans at all. In Surge's gym. Apparently does not know that.
Chunk getting Flash now, that's going to put a lot of stuff into logic. As soon as well, he has the Zephyr badge already, so that's going to put all of those Flash-related caves back into logic.
Yeah, so heading through Diglett's cave, you can't do much without Cut or Waterfall, because the majority of the stuff is locked off to you, but it turns out to actually be useful getting Flash there.
And now it looks like Chunk is going to do Rock Tunnel right away, too.
Yep, makes sense. Flash. So dark areas, you can just do them in the dark if you are capable of navigating your way in the dark, maybe using a map or something, but according to the logic of the game, it will never force you to do something in the dark. So if there's something required but in a dark place like Rock Tunnel, you will be able to find Flash before entering there. Crystal is definitely the biggest one with a item randomizer scene like this, just because you've got the double regions and so many key items and just so many different key items that unlock more progression, like getting Surf unlocks things, Strength unlocks things, Tin Towers and unlock Whirl Islands. So Crystal's just particularly well suited of all the Pokemon games for an item randomizer format like this.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier, and I don't think Emerald would lend itself the same way. There is a key item randomizer for Red and Blue, but it's just not the same as Crystal. You're missing a lot of checks. It just doesn't flow quite as well.
Yeah. The Hive badge there for Chunk, and Fox defeating Surge pretty early with this new Charizard, new and improved.
Charizard 2.0, some might say.
Yeah.
Chunk getting cut here, too.
All the HMs, somebody just dropped the badge and the HM right next to each other. We had Surf and Fog as the first two items, and then we had Fly and Storm badge both within, like, a very close proximity of each other, one of them right at the end of Ilex and one in Vermilion. And then now Cut and Hive both being inside Rock Tunnel. But yeah, we do have the machine part here, so Chunk is just going to head straight over to turn that in.
Yeah, and turning in the machine part earlier does get you some other checks. One in Lavender at the radio tower, one in Cerulean, and one in Vermilion.
Yep, and if you decide to go all the way through Nugget Bridge on Route 25, then you do get to fight Misty as well, although you don't need the machine part for that one, just to have entered.
Chunk just picked up the Whirlpool HM, so I would imagine that we're going to see another badge any second now.
Yeah, Glacier Badge when? So Fox actually doing, I believe this is Dark Cave Rock Smash items out of logic. So again, doesn't have Flash yet, but if you feel capable, you can easily just do things in the dark anyways.
And that's one of the benefits to using the tracker that's very popular, is it does have the maps for these caves, so you can kind of have a feel of where you're going.
There's the basement key in Dark Cave. Yeah, anytime you run into a wall, there's that little bonk sound, and so you can just like be like, okay, I'm gonna go straight until I hear the bonk noise, and then I'm gonna turn right until I hear the bonk noise again, and then just navigate that way.
And the good part about having both Surf and Cut access here is Chunk's able to do all three of these checks right away.
Yeah, the ROM is not forcing you to do that much backtracking. Normally, a lot of your time is you go through the game, and then you'll, like, maybe an hour in, you'll be like, oh, I finally have access to Surf. Now I can go back to every single place that I've already visited and do those Surf checks, even though I've already been here, but the ROM's being pretty nice. But yeah, the even bigger thing with Cut is that now we can actually go somewhere in West Kanto. Normally you pop out of Diglett's cave here and then you're kind of stuck. You've got 2 items to check and nothing else. But now you can cut one of those trees that's blocking your path and go to pretty much everything in the rest of West Kanto.
Yeah, and I feel like Pewter is usually a pretty safe check in Viridian also. It's really up to the runner if they want to continue further south and go to Pallet, Cinnabar right away just to get those fly points.
Yeah.
I guess I would go as far as Pallet just because you do need to fly back there once you have all the badges. But
In this case, I think probably heading to Victory Road is actually the better option here. Because you can also just enter Victory Road from the this side of things. Because once you wake up the Snorlax, the guard that blocks the path to Kanto is removed, so you can just head into Victory Road that way, and that's quite a few items. Even though you do not have 8 badges, so you can't get in the normal way if you were able to get there. But I mean, you're past the guy.
yeah, he'll let you out, but he will not let you back in.
Yes. And yeah, Chunk heading straight over to Victory Road. Fox heading down here should be picking up the expansion card in just a moment, although a freeze, but... Oh, and yeah, Chunk learning that the guy will not let you back in if you do not have the 8 badges. He's gonna have to fly back to Viridian and re-enter from the correct side.
Yeah, fortunately, Fly, having that at this point in the game, that really didn't hurt all that much to have to go back and
Yeah.
fly back.
And
A
so
lot
Fox...
better than having to take the, walk all the way back to the train and
Yes,
or the
yes,
SS.
that would be annoying. Yeah, Fox did pick up that expansion card and is going to see his own snack. Fire
Chuck getting a
punch
fire
TM.
punch TM now.
Just in case flamethrower wasn't enough. Fox is catching this Ekans. Arbok is usable. I mean, I wouldn't. It would never be my first choice. When I say usable, I mean like if you got no other options, it'll live.
I think another
But
strategy to catching it too is to have it for repel purposes.
that is a good point.
If you do end up going someplace where the Pokemon are a little bit higher leveled, you stick the snake up front and skip through all the encounters, and when you're done, go back to your regular main.
That is a very good point.
Chunk also picked up the Rainbow Wing before, so that's one of the 2 items necessary to open up Tin Tower.
Yes,
And-
although
and
we
that's-
are crucially missing access to Ekritique City so far still, so...
Yeah, can't get there yet, but once he can get there, 1/3 of the way to being able to do that. The other third being the clear bell and beating the Morty gym leader.
So Fox still does not have the Flash HM, but is deciding to go through Rock Tunnel in the dark anyways. Which we know will soon reward with Hive and Cut. Unk with one of his Pokemon Poison. Charizard. Yes, checking this item after having turned in the machine part to get the Rising Badge. And that will be his 7th badge, which triggers the Team Rocket to take over the radio tower, so... Can't do most of it. Most of the items there are locked behind having the card key, but... There is one item you can do. I believe Fox has picked up the Hive badge. And there's the lost item. Lots of key items related to the machine part here. Nearly every item associated with it has been a key item. And yeah, with the freeze, Fox has picked up both Hive and Cut.
Get those marked off. But yeah, what all is available right now?
I would say pretty much everything is open with the exception of North Johto.
You say everything, but there's quite a lot in North Johto. So I guess, but like I'm trying to think like what is like there isn't actually that much. Like there's not much easy that's available right now. Like I think we've got what? So a lot of the gym leaders in Kanto, well, pretty much all the gym leaders in Kanto and West Kanto, and then we've got what? There's a couple items on Route 25. There's Route 4. But yeah, we're quick. I think we're quickly starting to run out of easy checks. Oh
Chunk is
yes,
going to do the flash chamber, and that'll get 4 item checks right here.
I completely forgot about that one.
Hopefully that'll open things up a little bit for him.
Yeah, I think finding the card key next might be a reasonable next item to receive. Because we do know... Oh, soul
There's
badge.
the soul badge.
We do know the basement key is available. Although Chunk has not yet picked it up. So card key would unlock quite a few items.
Yeah, and it's good that Chunk found the soul badge, but like we said before, without having an HM associated with it, it helps. It's good for the overall progress, but it doesn't get you any closer right now.
Yeah, it's kind of just a +1 to things needed before I can win. Actually, speaking of the basement key, Fox does have only 6 badges at the moment, and a pretty high-level main, so there is the opportunity for Fox to go do basement early. You can get all but 1 item in the basement in Goldenrod if you have less than 7 badges, and none of the rockets spawn until you do have 7 badges. So that's a play that can be made.
You definitely want to do the basement either before that 7th badge or after getting card key, because there are quite a few trainers in the basement.
Yeah,
it
it's like
is very slow.
9 or 10 extra fights. I don't remember exactly.
Speaking of the basement key, there is Chunk picking it up.
Yeah, but luckily with the in vanilla game, obviously you do have to do the basement in all of those fights. But with the randomizer, one of the additional settings is that you will never be forced to do all of those 10 extra fights in the basement. You will always be able to find the card key somewhere that's not behind the basement. Which is very, very nice.
And now Fox picking up the Rising badge as well. That is the 7th badge, so that kind of wipes out that whole thought about doing the basement early.
Yep, yeah, if it was something that you wanted to do, you would probably have done it the second you got your level 30-something main, because, you mean, the badge can be anywhere.
IB, I don't know about you, but anytime either of the runners stops biking for a second, I'm like, uh-oh, it froze again.
Yeah, I'm more like, are they thinking? Are they flying? Or is the stream dying? Yeah, there is some storms in some parts of the US at least right now, so it's not impossible that maybe the SpeedGaming side, or maybe just I don't know, some combination of the streams are having a little bit of an issue. It seems to have been better recently, though. Hopefully we did not just jinx it.
Hopefully.
But it hasn't streamed frozen too much recently.
Hopefully the only jinxes that we have are the ice type.
Yes, indeed.
And now Chunk is taking advantage of all that extra money right now and stocking up on X items. That's important for some of these late game battles, blue and especially red.
Might not be that late game. This is actually the perfect time to do it because most of what's remaining is gym leaders in Kanto, so it's actually a very good time to be doing that. Because it with what we have available to us right now, it's possible that Blue or Brock or Blaine is just where the progression into North Johto is.
Jinx Jr. not in Crystal yet. I believe
Yep.
that was Gen 4 that she was Smoochum was added. Oh no, yes it is.
Smoochum, Elekid, and Magby all exist.
I'm thinking of the later like Meg Mortar.
Yeah, the later stages of Magmortar and Electivire don't exist. But yeah, Smoochum, Elekid, Magby, Tyrogue, Cleffa, a lot of the babies were added in Crystal. Not why not? Why not, you ask? I don't know. And yeah, Chunk heading down to Fuchsia to fight Janine. Janine, the lowest level of the Kanto gym leaders, but still, with a level 39 ace, I mean, you can definitely get tripped up.
And Janine's also a good check in general, too, because she gives both a badge and a TM after.
Yeah, there's actually only a couple of the Kanto gym leaders that actually give 2 items. I believe it's just Janine and Erica?
Those are the 2 I can think of, so
Yeah.
I'm going to say you're right.
Yeah, with Misty, it's like kinda maybe because there's 2 items available on Route 25 that you have to do that whole gauntlet of trainers for, and then she also gives you an item, so that whole section is associated with up to 3 items, but yeah, Erica and Janine are the only 2 that actually directly give you 2 items. Chunk has not taught Surf to his Charizard yet, which I think is a mistake, because that Onix is just an easy one-shot if you've taught Surf, and Charizard is a special main. It has decent physical, but you want to be running it specially.
Yeah, and you really want to get, even if they're not the strongest moves, which in this case Surf is a pretty strong move, but you want to have coverage to take on pretty much everything that you're going to encounter.
Yeah, there was the Rainbow Badge on Janine.
So yeah, Janine is required, and so is Violet. And now Chunk is going to check the single item on the route to the east of Violet.
Fuchsia.
Fuchsia, yes. Both pink, both pinkish colors.
Yes, they are both colors. And a pink bow.
Yeah, pink
to
bow
go
to go
on
on
with
top
the colors.
of the,
Yeah,
on top of Fuchsia and Violet and everything, everything related.
and it's frozen. Just giving us with the suspense of, is Chunk heading north to go fight the trainers on Route 25? The world may never know. Fox's stream is not frozen, just undecisive. You can tell because the timer's still going. But yeah, this is a quickly approaching a bit of an awkward scenario where you're like, well, I'm only have annoying things left to do. I don't know which one I want to do first.
Yeah, it really becomes a pick your poison. Which slower check do I want to do? And I know it's kind of a controversial choice or potentially controversial, but I think that Nugget is probably a good choice here.
Yeah, I personally would probably do, at a minimum, Erica first, just because Erica's, like, you know, fewer fights for 2 items, but again, the Nugget Bridge section does have 3 items associated with it, which is one of the more dense areas available at the moment. And yeah, checking over, it does look like Chunk is doing those fights on Route 25, so hopefully we'll have the feedback by the time he's done over there. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and this is one of those locations on Fox's side where it would be really a smart move to switch to having the Ekans in front and using that to repel some of these level 40s.
Yeah, because Fox did set nighttime. Normally in Victory Road during the daytime, they only go up to level 36, but with having set nighttime, they do go up to level 40, which is not enough for the Charizard to repel. So yeah, this would be a good point for the Ekans, as you mentioned.
Looks like Fox is considering main switching to a Vaporeon now, too.
Yeah, Vaporeon with Stab Surf is completely viable. More bulky for sure than Charizard, and you don't have to worry about any 4x weaknesses, so it's not the worst decision in the world.
Maybe pair it with a Mystic Water for a little extra water type damage.
Yeah,
and
you absolutely could. I don't believe he did end up catching it, or maybe he did, I don't know. But either way, really should have the Ekans out front here, losing so much time to these encounters. Actually, not even repelled? Possibly? Because I think one of those was a lower level, wasn't it? Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, maybe I'm crazy.
I know I am, so welcome to the club.
Yeah, I really don't know why Chunk still has Curse on his moveset when you could just as easily have taught Surf. But before the end, I have to imagine that Surf is going to get taught, probably before Red. You'll have Flamethrower, Surf, maybe Lovely Kiss, just to make things easier, and then hopefully one other decent special move you found along the way. Okay, yeah, that Larvitar is just lower level than the Charizard. Fox is just not repelling. Maybe he's run out of repels. Not sure what's going on there.
So Chunk is saving here before talking to the trainer that gives you the item. If it's not a key item, you can just reset and never talk to him and not have to battle him. So
yeah, unlike most gym leaders or anybody else in the game, he gives you the item before fighting you. Which is pretty unique. But yeah, neither of those items were required, that other item being cut locked, so now we get to go fight Misty, I'm assuming.
And it looks like you're right with that. The nice part about Misty's gym is with everything being water, you just go up to the top and surf one place, and away you go to the battle without having to deal with any of the sub-trainers.
Yeah, unlike Red and Blue, where you gotta walk along, you will already have Surf by this point, considering Misty's one of the last few gym leaders you probably do in the game. Again, another place where Surf would be really useful. Flareon would probably have died in one hit if you had Surf on.
Yeah, and with Surf being in all the games, or all the seeds, obviously a required item, that is one of the advantages to picking a water type as your main.
Yeah. Technically isn't required. We've seen one Surfless seed out of like hundreds and hundreds, but if you're looking at items, I think beyond Squirt Bottle Pass, Surf definitely is the key item that locks the most items behind it. There's just so many entire places you can't get to without Surf, so it is effectively required, but theoretically possible that you never get it because it's like locked in silver or something. But it would be extremely unlikely if we see that at all during this tournament, even with how many matches we're going to play. It's that rare.
I hope we see that now.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely love it if we see it. It makes things super unique, but it's possible. Continuing the Gym Leader Gauntlet with Brock next. I do believe that Fox has picked up Whirlpool, so I will mark that. But yeah, when it comes to the Kanto gym leaders, different people have different opinions on things sometimes with what gym leaders they like to do in what order. I like to do Erica fairly early, just because, as mentioned, she does give 2 items, but she does also have a pretty high number of fights that you have to do in order to even get to her, so we get to see a bit of a different order, likely on both sides. Fox has defeated the rival here and gotten the Indigo Plateau fly point, which is interesting. If E4 ends up being required, then Fox can just fly straight there instead of having to bike through Victory Road once again. And it looks like Chunk is heading over to do Route 4.
Yeah, and I think one of the good reasons to do that battle is just being able to access that mart with the full restores and some of the higher tiered items.
Yes, that is a decent point. That is the only shop in the entire game that actually sells full restores to you directly. Everywhere else only sells hypers or max potions and full heals, but not the full restores themselves. Ooh, Chunk hitting that optional. Unfortunate. Fox is about to pick up the soul badge in the flash chamber. I believe that's where it was.
I believe you are correct.
And I'm just realizing this. I think that because Chunk caught his Charizard at a higher level than Fox's, I think Fox's Charizard, the second one, came with Ice Beam, actually. I'm just noticing that the other Charizard had Ice Beam, and I think Fox's current Charizard also has Ice Beam. So it probably learned over it at level 36 or 37 or something. Whereas Chunks was at level 38, so that is pretty much the only disadvantage that you can ever get to catching something at a higher level, is it can randomly learn over, well, not randomly, it always learns over the last move in its order. But yeah, that is Soul Badge there for Fox. I do believe. And yeah, this rival fight in Mount Moon actually can be pretty difficult. There's not too many fights in the game that have 6 Pokemon, but this is one of them. Doesn't seem to be giving too much trouble here.
And Chunk navigating this route to the east of Mount Moon. One required trainer here that he will have to battle, and then that'll give him access to that item ball up there.
Yup. Meanwhile, Fox heading south of Goldenrod, most likely to do the Soft Sand Girls. I don't recall. Have we seen this?
We have not seen the Soft Sand Girls yet. Chunk going through all of Mount Moon and that route to get a non-key item.
Yep, it really does look like it's just going to be one item. Could be a variety of things. Could be the obvious one of Squirt Bottle or the boat ticket just to give you immediate access. It could be something like getting the card key and then progression ends up being in basement. We've got a lot of options. And hey, with the current layout, there's a decent chance that what we need is behind E4.
So if you came here looking for an E4 seed to punish the runners, then you're in the right place.
Ooh, Chunk hitting possibly the worst optional in the game. If you head straight up when you enter Surge's gym, this guy fights you, and then if that wasn't enough, the guy to your left of you fights you immediately after you're done with this guy. Which ends up being effectively a, what, 8 Pokemon optional? I don't recall exactly how many Pokemon the second guy has, but this first guy has 4. Oh good, the Roar Mewtwo.
making this as painful as possible. But yeah, this is definitely possibly the worst possible like option. I said possible so many times, but it might be the worst optional that you can hit. Yeah, it is 4 into 4. 8 and 8. The only way you can fight an 8 Pokemon optional.
Did we see the item from Fox on Soft Sand Girls?
I'm not sure. It might have frozen, or I don't know. I will check that. Okay.
Looks like Fox didn't talk to the Soft Sand Girls, so he did the 3 battles that are required, and then didn't talk. So this is kind of a situation like Chunk had earlier, where he beat the Slowpoke well and didn't talk to Kurt right away.
He did
ended up
remember
going back
immediately,
for
though.
it. But
Fox seems to be heading to the basement to do the vanilla basement with the 9 or 10 extra fights. That would be bad. That is not something you ever want to do. Again, the ROM will never require you to do that. You will always be able to avoid these fights, other than the rival. The rival fight's required. Because that guy, he's just always there. You walk down to basement, rival fights you. But all the other rockets do despawn once you get the card key and complete the card key section. And the card key is somewhere that is not basement. Guaranteed.
yeah, and Fox is, it looks like, going to do the vanilla basement here with all of the rockets in there. So
Yeah.
buckle up. This is going to be a bumpy road here for a little bit.
Looks like maybe we will see the actual Soft Sand Girl item this time, because it looks like Chunk is also heading over here. So maybe we'll actually see what it is this time. And hopefully for Fox, it's not something important. Because yeah, we you know, there's the case of the guy on Nugget Bridge where he gives you the item before fighting you, and then there's the Soft Sand Girls where she won't give you the item at all until you talk to her after beating the last one. So hopefully for Fox, not going to be useful, but we shall see.
We will know in 2 battles from Chunk.
Indeed, and yep, Fox just going for it. It's not impossible for Vanilla Basement to be the wrong choice. There are scenarios in which Card Key is in a horrible location, and this is actually just better. For example, Card Key could be on E4, and by doing this, you might be able to avoid doing E4, and especially if you get the item early on. Maybe you only do 3 fights, pick up a required item, and then bail out. It's possible for this to pay off, it's just in the vast majority of cases, this is not a good decision. Yet another point where Chunk would have benefited from having Surf on his moveset. Okay.
And
Soft Sand
Fox
Girls,
is-
just
yeah,
a Cargos.
Fox not going to be not going to take extra punishment for forgetting that. So
Yes. Safe for today, at least with that one item. Chunk heading up to Sabrina, I imagine. Yep. I do believe we missed Fox picking up the Rainbow Wing during one of those freezes. I will mark that off. Other than that, we seem to be caught up.
it looks like Fox is having a little bit of trouble with the doors in the underground here too, in the basement rather.
Yeah, there's a bit of a puzzle with clicking the levers in the right order. You can do the first one, the third one, the first one again, the second one, and then pick up all the items in that first room, and then press the first one again, and that gives you your path to the end. But yeah, you've got a ton of fights to do when you're doing it with the rockets down there. And also that trainer that he just defeated before this one was named Let's Go IB, so let's go me.
Let's go you.
Sabrina not paying off this time, heading over to Erica. I don't know about you, Bash, but I like to do Erica pretty early just because it is the 2 items. Like, it's quite a few fights, but I like to do it decently early in the gym leader gauntlet.
It's quite a few fights, but having that second item, you know, it essentially doubles your odds of finding a required key item, and I guess I would choose to do Erica before I would choose to do a lot of the other gym leaders.
Yeah. With the lever combo that I said, that would be counting the first one from the right. Fox choosing to do a different, maybe not knowing that combination. The other thing that you can do is if you don't care about any of the items, you can do 3, 2, 1 as your order. Again, the third one being farthest to the left. That will just give you a straight path to the end without the items. So it looks like Fox got all the items left to reset the switches, and then is doing 3, 2, 1. And both streams are frozen. Yay! Kept in the dark forever.
Or Fox is just really, really admiring that switch panel right there.
I can confirm he is not
manufacturing.
I can confirm that he is not just admiring. He is actually doing things. We just can't see them.
Chunk starting Erica now. I believe 4 Pokemon? Yes.
Although that switch was pretty nice, I do have to admit. Maybe he did admire it just for a little bit, but...
It's hard not to.
Yeah. The volcano
And there is a badge.
And the super rod, but not the progression we're looking for. So Erica required, pays off doing it, but we still don't have anything new available. Looks like it
unless
might be
we missed something
time.
in the freeze, aside from this last item ball, it looks like there was nothing required in the basement.
It looks like the secret potion was in the basement, actually.
We must have missed that.
Yeah. I have the streams pulled up, and Fox does have secret potion marked on the tracker, so it's a safe assumption that that was in the basement. So I will mark that off for him, and yeah, so that basement might be required, but it's not progression, which means that it most likely was not worth it, because there's a very decent chance that Chunk finds the card key somewhere before he has to do basement, and then that's 9 or 10 fights worth of time that Fox has just lost there. Even if the secret potion does end up being required. So, a bit of an unfortunate gamble there. It did not pay off, but if it lets you skip E4, it might have been worth it.
Chunk now doing Blaine in the Cinnabar Island gym as the gauntlet continues.
Yep, what do we have from Dun, Surge, Erica, Sabrina, Misty, Brock, Blaine? I think we just have blue left. Am I missing a gym leader? Don't think so. I think we just have blue. We have blue left. We have False Director, the vanilla way without the card key, and we have E4. That might be it. Might be down to one of those 3. Meanwhile, Fox looks like going to begin his gym leader gauntlet, beginning with Erica, but then deciding to pick up the leftovers first. Leftovers is it's a hidden item in this trash can, and also it's just pretty much always an item that you want, so racers as a consensus have been like, yeah, we're just not going to randomize that. Guarantee you always get a held item.
Yeah, and it's kind of a risky gamble taking the leftovers. With instant text, it doesn't matter quite as much, but you do lose a little bit of time to that dialogue box, and multiply that by the number of turns that you have to look at that. It does slow the rundown just a little bit.
I personally only like to get it if I'm not confident in my main. If it's a main that I think will be like, okay, I'm not going to be one-shotting a lot of things, I'm going to need the extra healing. But with this Flamethrower Charizard, you might not need it. It's a bit of a gamble, but I personally might not have taken it here, but better safe than sorry in a lot of cases. And yes, Chunk fighting Blue here, leading off with a Tyranitar. Imagine if this Tyranitar has, like, Rock Slide. That'd be funny.
That would be bad news for Charizard, that's for sure.
Yeah, both Charizards. Well, unfortunately, another double freeze will keep you updated. Oh, there we go. The Charizard is confused and dead. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, Chunk using one of those max revives, not a time that you want to do that, and also a prime example of why you would want to teach Surf for coverage.
Okay, well, actually, in this one instance, Double Kick is probably better because it is a Tyranitar. But the Rapidash definitely
True.
Surf. But
Yeah.
for specifically the Tyranitar, Double Kick is fine. But I mean, yeah, this Rapidash is another instance. Like, you'd be doing much better with Surf. The only reason I can imagine that he wouldn't be teaching Surf here is maybe he intends to set up physically on Red or something, but special moves are just... Flamethrower Surf will get you through almost everything. Like, other than water types, basically. You hit pretty much everything else in the game, and if you're this water type, just set up to +6 and rely on Stab, not very effective, you'll probably be fine. But it looks like Chunk powering his way through, hasn't run into any rock moves yet. There's the Volcano badge on Fox's side. Yeah, that is a lot of Hyper Potions. Which, honestly, fair. Oh, Fox has flown to Indigo Plateau. Are we going to be seeing E4? Or was that a mistake? Okay, that was a mistake.
That was a
Fly.
mistake.
Damn.
Almost thought we were going to get...
Or was it a mistake? Because now he's
Oh.
deciding to shot first.
Yeah,
we might be seeing E4.
Yeah, he could be searching for TMs or X items before going on to the E4, so...
Yeah. That is the wrong floor. Yeah, X items are on the 5th floor here. Yeah, I don't know. This might be an early E4 play, which could pay off massively.
Yeah, it's definitely a gamble that you can take.
Yeah. Especially if you feel like you're a bit behind, like, you know, I don't know, maybe you feel like you're missing something, maybe you feel like your fights have been slow, anything. If you feel like you're behind, sometimes you just have to make a gamble and be like, well, my opponent's probably ahead of me, but I bet they didn't do this yet.
Sometimes crystal item speedruns, randomizer speedruns, are just as much luck as they are skill.
Yeah. On average, the better player will win because the better player will be able to do checks faster, but if all you want to do is win one race, anyone that's competent enough can do that. Finally defeated Blue, giving the squirt bottle. So it looks like that is what needs to be done in order to get our progression. And so we are finally free to look at the inside of Blue's gym.
When I was growing up, I always thought those were Legos in Blue's gym. I don't know about you.
They really do look like it. I don't know what they're actually supposed to be, but they definitely look like Legos. But yeah, so with the squirt bottle available to us, we can now do so much more. We've got some stuff in Ecruteak, we've got Tin Tower soon, maybe, if we get the Clear Bell, we've got a bunch of items in Mount Mortar. Once we get Strength access, there's Ice Path and Blackthorn, we've got the Lighthouse. There's a lot.
Yeah, and I know you have Chunk's stream up separately. Does Chunk have the secret potion, or is that
No, Chunk does not have the secret potion. I'm almost certain that that was in the basement.
interesting? Oh, you're right. Yeah.
That's the only thing really that Fox has done that Chunk has not. And so with the freezes, we didn't see it get picked up, but it's pretty safe to say that it must be in the basement. And it looks like Fox is heading down to do Janine, so unfortunately it's not the E4 play. That would have been cool.
Chunk getting waterfall now here too.
Once again, a lot of items. Once you get into the waterfall section in Mount Mortar, there's a lot of items there. But yeah, blue being the progression is pretty crazy. It's like pretty much the second, I think it is just the second highest level fight in the game. Well, there might be a rival fight, like there's one rival fight that's like you can do, but it's like only on certain days after defeating the E4, and yeah, it never comes up. So realistically, blue is the second highest level fight that you're going to see anyone do here. And that being the progression...
I was going to say the moon has to be in a specific phase for that battle to show up.
Yeah, once every 20 years. Is it on Mondays? Okay, okay. Yeah, I did not know what day it was, but we are being told that it is Monday.
And I didn't catch any of those roamers' cries, but except for the last one, which I think was Gengar, or not Gengar, but Ghastly.
Yeah, I don't know Pokemon cries very well. Maybe someone in chat can know better. But...
Yeah, if anybody in chat knows, I don't have confidence in my ability, so...
I do believe you on the Ghastly, though. That sounded ghastly enough to me.
And there's the plain badge. That opens up strength and also opens up another check back in Goldenrod.
Yep. But yeah, with strength, there's just some, random items here and there, like one in Burnt Tower, but the biggest section is Ice Path. You can go lots of items in Ice Path itself, and then also can send you along to Blackthorn with all the items below there as well.
GRN Vortex saying Mareep, Ghastly, and I don't know. So it looks like I was right with the Ghastly. If you had that on your commentary bingo card, mark it off.
Yeah, so Chunk heading into Mount Mortar, possibly one of the most item-dense locations in the game. You've got 5 or 6 items in this surf loop section in the basement. You've got a bunch of items in the waterfall section, and then there's a section that you can access via strength or waterfall. All in all, I think somewhere close to maybe 20 items that you're going to be grabbing here, all in quick succession.
There's the SS ticket.
Yeah, so it doesn't really give us access to any new areas since we already do have the squirt bottle, but there is one item on the boat itself, so possibly required.
And Chunk coming up to the last item of this floor.
Usually better to escape rope or dig here, but it's not too long of a walk just to go back up the ladder, especially since you do want to just re-enter anyways, and then instead go up this waterfall back here. Do need to teach it first.
It is a huge waterfall, though.
Mm. Yeah, Fox going through the whole gym leaders. Probably gonna head south next. No, not heading south next. Perhaps going to go south of Victory Road to grab that one item if he's remembered that he hasn't done that yet.
Those Radio Strats IB on the left.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any key items yet in all of this mortar section. Well, there was the SS ticket, but I don't think there's been anything else since then. Which is kind of surprising, honestly.
Nothing that opens up more progression,
Oh,
but there's the
oh.
Cascade badge just to prove us wrong.
Yep. Is required in the end.
Fox is battling the rocket on Nugget Bridge. I don't believe that's a required battle.
Yeah, that is not required. The item will appear inside the gym, even if you don't fight this guy. You can just go straight into the gym and pick up the item. But that rocket was named Bash Attack, so there you go.
In case you're wondering, part of the randomizer is you can set custom names, so the tournament organizers put together a list with all of the runners' names and some special classes, so. And Item Finder is a key item, however, not important to this run at all.
Yeah, never really important. I know some people want a mode where you actually just can't pick up hidden items until you find the Item Finder, which would be an interesting idea, but it's not currently a thing. Maybe one day. Now, I don't know where Fox is going. I'm gonna be quite honest with you, because yeah, you can't actually enter Route 4 from this direction. All the water is completely blocked off. You do have to go from the Mount Moon entrance side. We've got the shiny hot dog, the shiny Entei over here. Although it's not shining yet, it's still loading in.
It's so shiny that it broke the stream.
Yeah, it's too bright. We can't show that. It's a you know, you might go blind. It's a bit of a problem, so we kind of had to skip over that. My bad.
It's this race's version of the Porygon episode of the anime.
Yup. So just enough so you know what it is, but can't show anymore. But yeah, having done that, now the Rocket Hideout is available, but first Chunk going to check the items above Lake of Rage.
If the runners have 40 Tauroses in their boxes after this, I'm going to be blown away.
Who knows?
There's the Boulder badge.
That puts us 3 badges away on Chunk's side.
Yeah, 3 badges away at 133 is a pretty good seed, all things considered.
Yep. It's not bad at all, but we've already had a couple badges on, you know, like gym leaders in Kanto, but at the end of the day, if the last badge ends up being on E4, we'll be here for a while. Probably. You never know. But yeah, we are in the interesting situation where normally, as you might expect, you want to do the faster things first, you know, because if none of the slow things are required, then doing the slow things is a waste of time. And if you're going to waste your time doing something, you'd rather waste it doing something short than something long. So you want to do the fastest checks, the checks that don't require fights. But in this scenario, we've been forced to do a lot of the slower things in Kanto just because we couldn't find the squirt bottle. So it's a unique situation where this far in, there's still so many easy things available. And Fox going to fight Blaine now. Maybe Blue will be next, and he will also grab the squirt bottle. We will see.
Yeah, and this underground section does take a little bit, but it does have a lot of items to make up for it. So definitely something that is not usually skipped.
Yeah. Yeah, the items are very front-loaded. You get like almost all of them after like 4 fights, and then in order to finish it off, you have to fight the 2 password trainers, and then the other guy with the other password, and then the 3 electrodes. But sometimes you will see people skip that end part specifically. You're missing out on 1 item from Lance, 2 items from Price, and 1 item in the gate north of Mahogany. But in Extreme, without the hidden items, it's a lot less likely to see anybody skip this, just because there are fewer items overall. But who knows? Maybe we'll see it. Meanwhile, Fox is doing the Route 25 Trainer Gauntlet.
Another rare candy for Chunk, so that'll just make Charizard all that much stronger when it's time to battle Red.
Yup.
Or whenever he chooses to level up.
So it looks like Chunk actually might be doing what I mentioned with skipping. Yeah, it looks like Chunk is going to be skipping all those password fights, and just gonna leave those 4 items for later, possibly, hopefully just to skip them forever. Yeah, we've been having both sides freezing a lot. I think it's the restream is having a bit of an issue. It might be a weather-related thing. I know it's raining near me as well, but yeah. We have unfortunately been having some freezes. We're trying our best to keep track of what's going on, even with those. Yes, that is named ERC Skip, after ERC, who is a very important member of the community who helped doing a lot of the coding to actually make this possible. Although not as much recently, but still would not be possible without it.
So Chunk is going to jump down there and get this 1 item off to the side, and then go back up to the floor above and complete the strength puzzle.
Decides he wants this max revive, so tossing an item to pick that up, and oftentimes you'll see a save reset there so that you don't have to drop back down again, but didn't decide to do that, and ended up wanting the item anyways, so...
And there's the red scale that opens up a check back with Mr. Pokemon on one of the first routes in the game.
Yup. Normally gives you the EXP share after you defeat or catch the shiny.
Oh yeah, gotta make sure to get that marked. Boom. Switch the audio over while that freezes. Oh, and the other one froze. Very good. Love that. Okay, looks like we are back over here. Fox completing Nugget Bridge and all of those fights up there. And gonna do Misty now. Meanwhile, let's see. Chunk has not gotten anything important yet, as far as I can tell. We are not missing anything.
Yeah, give us the play-by-play. Has Chunk made it out of Ice Cave yet?
Well, I'm not going to give the play-by-play, because it's actually like 30 or 40 seconds ahead of what we would see if this was unfrozen.
Oh, I see.
So I'm actually not going to do that.
All right, we're back to live action now. He has made it through and did some shopping in Blackthorn, it looks like. And now he's going to go ahead and do the other side of Dark Cave.
Yes.
3 item checks on the Blackthorn
This
side.
is a Stantler. Wow. Tell the future.
I don't know how he does it, guys.
Yeah, man. Who knows? Oh,
Chat,
and
I need to warn you, IB is a magician.
guess we'll be switching the audio back again. Yeah, so if anybody's joining recently and has not seen what this amazing ROM is, North Johto is not accessible until you defeat Blue. So that is why a lot of these typically late game things are going to be done without, I mean, fairly early, relatively. Because you do have to end up defeating Blues before you can actually get to anywhere in North Johto.
Yeah,
I believe when Chunk got it, all that was remaining for him was Vanilla False Director and E4.
Fox is going to go now and try it, looks like, to get that item to the west of Cerulean.
Yep. Chunk has picked up the Glacier Badge.
So Chunk now has all of the Johto badges. We're just looking for Thunder and Earth at this point to wrap this up and send it to Red.
That does mean that Chunk has access to all the HMs now, so specifically the biggest one here with Whirlpool being Whirl Islands has quite a few items in it. So I imagine that will be happening sooner rather than later. Heading up to Burnt Tower first.
And it looks like Chunk is just going to check that strength item in the basement of Burn Tower.
Yep.
Calcium is good for the bones, not so good for the run.
And so yeah, Chunk gonna be heading down to Olivine for the first time.
A lot of good checks in Olivine between the Lighthouse. There's a couple quick checks in what would in vanilla be the Good Rod and also the Strength check.
Yep. Ooh, Fox hitting that optional there, unfortunate. But yeah, so Chunk will have to come back here. Well, fine, maybe it's not required, but we know the secret potion is in the basement, so Chunk will probably be coming back to Lighthouse again. You can get all the items, but you will have to come back later to give the secret potion to Jasmine, if Jasmine does end up being required to fight.
Now it looks like Chunk hitting an optional here in the...
This is a particularly
light
bad
post.
one to hit as well. This guy has 5 Pokemon.
So Fox getting that item, finding out it's the charcoal, and probably going to go take on Blue now.
Yep. The Charizard was not Snorlax, so the Charizard was a starter, the Charizard was on Route 30, and then the Charizard was also in Vermilion Water, which is where both of these players' current Charizards came from. But there's been Charizards everywhere.
Oops, all Charizards, the cereal, the ROM.
But yeah, Fox initially started with running a Charizard from the starter, while Chunk took a Feraligatr. And then they both ended up switching to Charizards and Vermilion. Yes, this has definitely been an interesting seed, to say the least. The first 2 items, literally the first 2 items, the Mom item and then the Aid Potion, were Fog Badge into Surf. So it's the earliest possible Surf that you can ever get. Just instantly. So yeah, we started off interesting and we've maintained it. And yeah, so Fox is taking on Blue right now, which, as we know, will give him the Squirt Bottle. And so after an hour and 45 minutes, he can finally enter North Johto. Assuming he can beat this fight. I believe he's taught Lovely Kiss here already, honestly. Or was he put to sleep? I couldn't tell. Okay, no, he was the one that was put to sleep. Never mind. And he's dead. That's unfortunate. You really want to set up on this fight.
Yeah, this is one of the few outside of Red that X items are recommended for.
Yeah, all the other Kanto gyms are like, you know, it depends, but like when you've got like a level 39 main that you started off with as level 39, you probably can get through without setting up, but like some cases, you know, you're just running the starter the whole way, then you probably will use X items a lot more often, but no, pretty much no matter your situation, X items are a good idea on Blue, because there is a setting in Force to forcefully evolved above level 50, which means that none of Blue's Pokemon can be, like, a first stage or a second stage. They're all going to be a fully evolved Pokemon.
So Chunk is choosing to do Whirl here now. I would say that's a good choice. There's a lot of item checks here.
Yep. Definitely one of the more heavily populated places available. Ooh, right in time, we get to see Chunk pick up the card key. Very, very important item here.
Yeah, that will let Chunk, if needed, skip through having to do vanilla Rocket Basement. So,
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if right after doing Whirl Islands, the next thing we see ends up being Radio Tower. If we get to see anything. At all.
that is a lovely shade of white on Fox's side.
Truly. So, Fox has defeated Blue and gotten himself the Squirt Bottle. And will now be heading into North Johto. Meanwhile, Chunk has not picked up anything else important other than, well, the Pokedex to ruin his menuing.
Yeah, there are some players that are willing to save and reset just to get rid of the dex, just so that it doesn't screw their menuing up.
Yeah, once you get the Pokedex, it's always the top above the Pokemon menu, and you're not used to it because you haven't had it for that long. And so then you are like, oh, I'm just gonna open my Pokemon menu and use Fly, and then suddenly you are listening to some random Pokemon's cry because you're actually in the Pokedex. Just don't accidentally click on Jinx. I'm genuinely not sure if Fox has the Rainbow Badge, and unfortunately, that one I'm not able to tell. So I guess we'll see someday.
Yeah, Chunk going back to Goldenrod here as opposed to fighting Chuck. Chunk
Yeah.
is not fighting Chuck.
And Chuck
would
is
open
also
up-
not fighting Chunk.
Yes, that would open up 3 items between the badge, the TM, and then Chuck's wife that in vanilla gives you Fly.
Yeah, makes sense though, because with having the basement key as well as the card key, you've got quite a few items in Radio Tower itself, and then you've also got the basement, so fairly reasonable decision. There's a decent amount of stuff left, because we have just gotten North Johto access this recently. We've got Radio Tower and Basement that Chunk is doing right now. We haven't seen Radio Tower, but we do know that Basement only has the secret potion. So there'll be Jasmine, there's fighting Chuck. Chunk did not finish the Rocket Hideout in Mahogany. He chose to leave before doing the password trainers, so there's a few items left to do there. After doing card key section, Claire will be unlocked. And then there's a couple other just one-off checks in random places, like the Whirlpool item on Route 26, but also Tin Tower. We can't do that yet because we don't have Clear Bell, but yes, the Pokemon are also randomized. Fox is currently frozen right next to the Suicune, but not looking at it. Oh, and there we go.
Yeah, and this is the part of Radio Tower where the card key is important. It lets you skip the rest of the left side of the Radio Tower.
Yeah, typically in Vanilla, you would have to go on the left side there, fight all the trainers, beat the false director, he gives you the basement key, you go to the basement, do all the basement, you get the card key, and then you come back, but with being able to do things in a different order than did normal because of the rando, the card key, once you've finished this section, you actually, all the rockets despawn other than the false director himself, so you could just go straight to him or just never fight those guys if you don't want to.
Now it's Fox's turn to go and do some of these Mount Mortar checks.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, there wasn't too much. I believe Fox should have picked up the SS ticket by now, and will eventually be getting the Cascade badge.
Looks like Chunk is going to opt to not do the first false director.
Yup. It's just one fight with 6 Pokemon for 1 item. So it's definitely something that a lot of people will choose to avoid until later on. And
Yeah,
yeah,
now-
Chunk then gonna head to the basement.
And the difference between waiting for card key and not is you're doing 2 battles this way and more battles than I can count the other way. So
Yeah, it's a 9 or 10 fight difference, which definitely adds up. So Chunk, you'll almost always. There's very, very, very rare scenarios that you would actually want to do vanilla basement with all the fights. Chunk definitely making the right decision here to wait until card key, but it's also kind of understandable. Fox was kind of desperate with the progression ending up being on blue. It's like, it's a little understandable, even if it wasn't the right call.
Snowbear is saying there are 10 fights in the basement, so yes, you were close.
Yeah, I can never remember if it's 9 or 10. It's good to know that it is 10. I'll make sure to keep that in mind. So Cascade badge over here. Yep. Yeah, so we've seen that already, so on Chunk's side. Knew that that one was coming.
Now Chunk getting the secret potion so he can go back and finish the lighthouse if he so chooses.
Yup. So it will be interesting to see where Chunk goes next. Looks like it's Blackthorn, so we might be seeing Claire here. If you would have to do Claire's gym becomes available once you do finish that card key section of Radio Tower. Quite a few fights, but then you have Dragon's Den unlocked, which has, I believe it's 5 items. Assuming you have Whirlpool. It's only 2 if you don't have Whirlpool, but we do have Whirlpool.
Yeah, 5 checks in the Dragon Den. So if you're going for most item checks per action, this is a good lot of actions. It's just or a lot of items, but unfortunately the battles do take up a little bit more time.
Yeah. But it makes sense. We're again approaching the point for Chunk where it's like starting to run out of the easy things to do. We've got like finishing Rocket Hideout, False Director, fighting Chuck, fighting Jasmine. There's the shiny Entei in all of its glory for a few seconds. Actually get to see it this time. And it has once again frozen the stream. It just cannot be handled.
Too much shiny, too many pixels. I don't know.
Fox heading to the left in the cut maze here. You actually don't have to do that in this because there's only a hidden item and on some days a sibling there. Wednesdays, I believe, Wesley. But yeah, in this mode, again, no hidden items until stage 2 of the tournament, the knockout stages. So that left cut bush unnecessary. Fox should be picking up the Boulder badge soon, as we've seen. Should be this item right here, I believe. Yup. Slowly but surely catching up on all the things that Chunk has already done, but Chunk definitely has a major lead, having done so many more checks. It would take a lot of luck for Fox to check up at this point. It's catch up. It's completely possible. You know, like one of the couple things like finishing Rocket Hideout or maybe E4 or False Director that Chunk has skipped, if Fox just does that immediately, he can easily luck into finishing up the seed first.
Fox, I would say, is down right now, but definitely not out.
Absolutely. I don't believe that the well or Waterstone chambers have been done yet. It's possible that he's waiting until he gets the clear bell so that you can try and do both chambers at the same time. But, of course, it's always possible the clear bell is in there. But yeah, that is a good point. Those are 6 easy items that I don't think have been done yet. Fox heading down into Rocket Hideout. Maybe Fox will finish the whole thing, and we'll see if those items end up being required. Because, again, Chunk did not complete Rocket Hideout, did the ERC skip, where you do not fight the password trainers at all. Skip 4 items temporarily.
And now
And
we're getting the
there's...
clear bell.
Yep. Just as I said that, so pretty much guaranteed the next thing that will be happening on Chunk's side is going to be Tin Tower. You can fight... There are 2 ways to access Tin Tower. You have to have the Clear Bell and the Rainbow Wing in your inventory, but even with those, you have to either have defeated Morty or done the card key section of the rockets. In this case, we have seen Chunk already do the card key section of the rockets, so he won't be doing Morty just yet. So it'll still be a while before we know if Morty is required or not. Maybe he has a badge. Maybe he doesn't. Who knows?
Yeah, and it looks like Chunk is going to head to Tin Tower here. 9 item checks in the tower itself.
Yeah, and I would expect to see the 2 chambers and probably also the Slowpoke Well basement items right after this as well. Which would be another 10 items right afterwards.
We got one more battle that we have to see on Chunk's side before he can battle the Suicune and start traversing up the tower and making those item checks.
Was the Suicune the one that we thought was a Ghastly, or...
I
don't recall?
believe so.
Okay, so we will see at least if that one's correct. And get to hear the cries once again.
So everybody put your good listening ears on and let's see what the roamers are. It is Ghastly.
I do believe that...
Actually, no. Never mind. I was gonna say I think I missed an item on Fox's side, but I don't think so. But it does seem like Fox is doing doing the password fights, so we will most likely get to see what the items for finishing Rocket Hideout are here, which will be new information for us. While Chunk just bikes his way through this creaky old tower. Definitely 100% safe to be riding your bike in here. Do not question it.
Don't question it, because Oak isn't, so it's legit.
Nothing yet, but still quite a few items and the Ho-Oh chamber afterwards. Seems fairly likely that at least one of the 2 remaining badges will be here, I would have to imagine. But maybe not.
Yeah, you never know.
Meanwhile, Fox going to take care of these 3 electrodes. Well, presumably they won't all 3 be electrodes, if any of them are, but you get the idea. Oh, maybe we won't see what they are.
It would be wild if any of the 3 were electrodes, let alone all 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no badges here in Tin Tower. I guess the only progression item that we're seeing here is encountering Ho-Oh to open up that chamber, so I'm gonna guess that's where Chunk is headed next.
Yep. Probably gonna do these 2 items that are strength locked in the basement of the well first. Yep. And then you can head into Union Cave and head towards both the Ho-Oh room and the Waterstone room. So that'll be 2 items here and then 8 more items in quick succession. We'll see what we get. Looks like that first Lance item on Fox's side was not required. But we will see what price gives.
Ooh, Chunk hitting that spinner right there.
Luckily, only 1 Pokemon on this guy. Not the biggest deal in the world. Ooh, oh yeah, you
That's
definitely
another optional.
you want to stay on the right side there. That guy's waiting for you to ambush you. Let's see what price gives. Spikes and an elixir. 1 more item left behind completing Rocket Hideout. Up here in the gate. Oh, he's not going to check it. He's just going to head towards Ice Path instead, so... Unless he already checked it before price, that's possible. It was frozen for a little bit. I don't know.
So Chunk heading into the chamber now. This will open up 4 item checks.
Under TM could be nice on red. Teach that before red and Exac. Optional on Fox's side this time. Okay, so all of Tin Tower seems to be completely not required whatsoever. Clearbell was bait.
Now it's time to check the Waterstone Chamber.
Be funny if just both badges are in here, because this has just been available for like a while.
This is the point in the run where every time an item ball disappears, you flinch a little bit and think, oh, is that it? And then get disappointed.
Nothing in the Waterstone Chamber either. What is next? It's the question we have to ask. Olivine City, that's probably going to be turning into Secret Potion for Jasmine. I have to imagine.
I would guess that Chunk is going to do Chuck here. Oh, no.
Well, he does already have the sign with Fly Point, I think?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so this is probably just turning into Secret Potion. But
For
yeah,
some reason, I thought he did fly to Cyanwood.
ooh, optional. Lots of optionals recently. They might be getting a little bit nervous. Once you reach the 2-hour mark, you're like, well, okay. This is a point where my opponent could finish at any time. Because you have no idea what your opponent's doing. You're sitting here, you're like, well, all I have left are these weird, annoying things. Maybe my opponent chose to do those. Maybe my opponent got the squirt bottle before me. And it can definitely get a bit on your nerves. You've been doing this for a while, you're worried.
I feel like at this point in the race, you kind of have one eye on the game and one eye on the timer, just kind of waiting to see your opponent finish, and
yeah, you're
feel that disappointment.
Yep. One of the worst feelings is when you're on red, you're so close to being done, and then your opponent finishes just a minute or two before you. You're always worried up until that last moment when you're actually finished.
So yeah, Chunk is going to do Jasmine here.
2 more items.
Oh, and there's the Earth badge. So now Chunk is just 1 badge away from go mode.
Fox did pick up the red scale right there. And right as that happens, Chunk heading over to turn in the red scale. Wait, I think we already did this. Did we not? Maybe we didn't.
I don't think we did.
Oh no, we didn't. We just picked it up and talked about it. Yeah, my bad.
Unfortunately, not required, so...
Yeah.
Now Chunk heading to Cyanwood, gonna take on Chuck.
Chuck, who could possibly be described as Chunk. I think the wife says something along those lines when you talk to her after beating him.
He's getting a little bit chubby, I believe are her words.
But yes, this will be 3 badges. Quite a few fights, but well, not 3 badges. that'd be scary if we got 3 badges because we're only missing 1. No,
we're only missing 1.
Items.
There's 2 bootleg badges that Chuck has been working on down in the basement.
Yeah, he's gonna get the 2 Orange Island badges.
Maybe the Sevi Islands. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll just get wild. This ROM could be just completely out there.
Actually gonna warp into Sinnoh next.
The runners don't know that we've modified this ROM further to surprise them with Sinnoh.
Yeah, you defeat Red, and then Cynthia pops up. It's just
and then if they don't find those badges in Sinnoh, Hoenn to follow.
Maybe someday, who knows? Maybe someday we'll get a cross-region Pokemon randomizer. I know there exists map randomizers that can do that, but
Yeah, they do have a map randomizer that goes across games now, so maybe item randomizers next?
there we go. Sorry, audio switching being a bit weird there. Right in time to beat Chuck.
And
Thunder
there it is, the
Badge!
Thunder Badge. So Chunk is now in go mode.
Indeed. All in all, nothing too crazy after finally getting that Johto access. One badge on Jasmine, one badge on Chuck. Could be worse. Not E4. Morty not required. Neither player ever actually fighting Morty. Well, Fox might still. We don't know. We shall see. But yeah, Chunk on his way to red. I wonder if he'll finally teach Surf to his Charizard. Maybe he's done it already. Maybe I missed it, but I've been wondering.
I don't think he has, but you know,
Surely.
maybe this is the time.
Surely you teach Surf and like maybe Thunder and then Lovely Kiss.
Chunk going for the swag strats here of not using Flash in Mount Silver.
Yep, I mean, if you can do it just as fast as without Flash, you can save the little time of menuing. And sometimes that matters, you know? Maybe someday you have a moment where you and your opponent are 5 seconds apart and you choosing not to use Flash versus your opponent using it can be the difference, but you gotta be confident enough that you're not losing more time by bonking. Fox did pick up the Glacier Badge there.
And now Chunk basically just prepping for this battle.
Yep, using some candies. Teaching some moves, healing. But yeah, with the Sleep TM that they got earlier on, if they still have that, this should be a fairly simple fight in the majority of cases. Just because you can just simply put your opponent to sleep. And set up for free. And so Fox finally did get around to checking that gate item. We know, obviously, not required.
Chunk opting to go for Zap Cannon here, hoping for the, I believe, a 50-50 shot whether or not you hit.
And we freeze right as we start red. No! There we go. It's a Fearow. And it's frozen again. No! Well, we at least saw what the lead was. Looks like it's just used spamming Scary Face, and Chunk has used a guard spec to protect against all stat drops, so looks like it's a completely... Oh, and of course Red has a Charizard.
You gotta
Why
have
wouldn't
Red with
Red have a
Charizard, in this
Charizard?
ROM.
We should not be surprised. But yeah, teaching Zap Cannon actually fine here, because you just use an X accuracy and you'll always hit, but Thunder is actually stronger than Zap Cannon, believe it or not. You just don't get the guaranteed paralysis, so maybe Thunder would have been the better choice, but either way. Ooh, using the wrong move against the Sea King there.
And there it is, and time will happen after the second flash. Right there.
There we go.
218.53.
GG's to Chunk. Perhaps we will get him in for an interview in a moment. We will see what happens with that. But yeah, a good race.
Very good race. And I very much enjoyed that it wasn't the progression that we're used to seeing, so definitely kept it unique.
All right. Hello, GG to you, Chunk. How's it going?
Thank you.
How do you feel?
Oh, not too bad. The early was a little, a little interesting. Getting surf to start. Literally, first thing is new, something I haven't had to deal with before. But
Yes, first two items.
but yeah, just thinking about it was a whole like deal of should I try to get the surf items or not?
Yeah, there were definitely on both sides a couple instances where you would encounter a wild and wipe to it because you just can't run away.
Yeah, but I mean, besides that, I mean, as soon as I got that Charizard, I knew that I was set. But then I think I got fairly lucky. I feel like I did a bunch of like probably not optimal choices, but that ended up working in my favor.
Yeah,
But,
well, especially in that early section where you didn't have access to like half of Johto, you just kind of had to do like everything in Kanto.
yeah, no, it was interesting. I was sitting there like half the time wondering if I messed up marking something, like did I miss an item or something?
Yeah.
Like, but then it was like, oh, okay, it literally just was blue, and
Yes.
yeah, like blue being the unwall is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate and a little bit mean.
Oh
Indeed.
yeah. Mean is definitely a good word for it.
Snowbear wants us to tell you that in Pokemon Crystal, apparently the Dragon Fang doesn't do anything. It's supposed to boost your Dragon type moves, but apparently it's bugged, and it just literally does nothing in Crystal.
Wait, that's funny because I didn't even use Outrage, so it's not like it mattered.
It didn't matter in the end, but yeah, the Dragon Scale does work correctly. But even I didn't know that. Learn something every day.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know Gen 2 was Gen 2's buggy. With its items and everything,
the moon ball is a funny one. It's
the moon ball is a classic.
Yeah. Supposed to make easier catch rate on any Pokemon that evolves with a Moonstone, but the item pointer is incorrect, and actually attempts to make the catch rate easier for Pokemon that evolve with a Burn Heal, which, well, who knows?
Not many of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was like an unlucky but lucky run. That's just how I guess that's just how it is. Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, like even the red fight. The red fight was pretty nice. As soon as I saw Scary Face, I knew it was over. That I won, that I won.
Yeah, the guard spec, and then it just spams the move, makes things pretty easy for setup.
Yep.
Fox here gonna fight Jasmine and get the which badge was it? I don't remember.
Thunder, badge.
Earth. Okay, I didn't remember which one was which. You got them so quick right after each other.
Yeah, it was Earth on Jasmine, and then Thunder on
Chuck.
Chuck, and then Rainbow. Oh,
Rainbow was Janine.
Janine,
I think he has it, but there's been some like freezing on the stream, and so we've missed like a couple randoms. Okay, yeah, he does have it. I believe that was one badge remaining. Yeah. Yeah, there's been some occasional freezing on the restream, unfortunately, on both sides, so we've missed a couple small sections.
Yeah, definitely appreciate everybody's patience with all the freezes tonight.
Fox seems to be heading over to Whirl Islands now. Yeah, so Fox did pretty much very similar things to you. Took Charizard as a starter. Charizard was also on Route 30, and went to Vermilion, got a Charizard.
Oh wait, Charizard was the other starter that I didn't look at?
Yeah, the far left was Charizard.
This seed really wanted Charizard to be your main, with the starter, and then again on the Route 30.
And in
the Vermilion Water, and then Red had a Charizard.
Yep, Red had Charizard.
It was Oops All Charizard.
Yes.
I heckin' love Charizard. Don't you guys know it's the best Pokemon ever to exist?
That's second best, man. You can't be forgetting about But yeah, did pretty much all the same things as you in Kanto, mostly. Just ended up getting to the squirt bottle a bit later than you. Just some other things got in the way. I also did
Gotcha.
vanilla basement, which was not the best.
Yeah, I know I've made that one mistake in a solo run before, and then I went back and of course, and that's when you go back and read all of the modifiers, and then you find out that vanilla basement is actually just cursed.
Yeah, it will never be required for you to do the basement with the 10 extra fights.
Yeah,
You
no,
will
it's-
always find a card key somewhere.
Yeah. You know, that, again, that's like the area where I thought I messed up marking, because I was like, I have the basement key, and there's like maybe max like 3 checks and E4. Like, if I
Yeah,
had to make sure I was.
I
doing
think you were
everything.
down to like just like the false director vanilla and then E4. I think that was all you had left when you got squirt bottle.
Yeah. And yeah, no, I was not gonna make my way to false director before key card either, if possible.
Yeah.
That's also not very fun.
Sometimes you have to. There was a race earlier in
there
this
is.
tournament where Storm Badge was there and the card key
Oh,
was
gross.
like somewhere horrible.
Ooh, that is gross.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what Fox chooses to do next, because did just get the card key, so might get baited into the hole. All of the all of the tower was useless. Well, actually, okay, so technically you want to do that. You want to do radio tower with card key to do basement to get secret potion to get the one badge on Jasmine, but he already has secret potion, so there's nothing left for him in radio tower, in Dragon's Den, in Tin Tower, none of that. Hopefully he doesn't get baited by that here.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's. Yeah, at least those fights aren't too terrible either, especially obviously this late into the run, too.
Yeah. But yeah, let's one more item to get here. And then we will see what Fox chooses to do next. That is the big question.
Yep.
Oh, is he gonna go
Just,
check the Lugia? Looks like it.
Oh, did you get the item? I don't know. I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention.
I don't believe you checked this, but we'll see what this level 60 is. It's a Pikachu! And it's gone.
Bye, Pikachu.
Okay, no instant fly. That's a good sign.
Yep, don't think that he has the fly point yet. So might just be heading straight to Cyanwood. Looks like it.
Oh, yep, nice.
So Fox will. So yeah, at the end of the day, Fox ends up not doing some of the stuff at least that you did. Obviously doesn't have the clear bell, so hasn't entered Tin Tower, hasn't done the card key section, hasn't done Claire's gym at all, but just lost enough time early on in the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, Kanto early is insanely rough, especially when you have to
Yeah.
do gym leaders.
Yeah. The vanilla basement didn't help either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yep.
And it definitely helps that you guys were able to find a pretty good main in Vermilion and the Charizard, and able to take on all those Kanto gym leaders fairly easily.
Oh, it seems like I missed the Ice Beam TM.
No,
What
the
was it?
Charizard actually learned Ice Beam on level up at a low level, the starter did, and I believe Fox caught his Charizard 3 levels lower than yours. So I think your my guess is that your Charizard learned over Ice Beam at level like 37 or whatever level it learned to move, but his still had it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, one thing we were wondering about, why did you teach Surf to your Charizard?
I was contemplating, because I had 3 attacking moves and a special move. I didn't want to like commit the Surf onto it just in case
That's
I wanted
fair,
to switch
that's fair.
moveset. Just because I didn't have that many TMs.
Yeah,
And you never know what
you
type
had
of
wing
TM.
attack. You had wing attack, double kick, and something else.
Rolling kick.
Decent physical moves. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had the flamethrower TM. Yeah, and then as soon as I picked up I had the X accuracy. So as soon as I got Zap Cannon, I knew that was gonna be my main plan for Red. Since I had the Surf already on another Mon, I just didn't want to like pigeonhole myself into special just in case.
Yeah, that's fair. I was just curious.
Now Fox getting the Thunder Badge and going into Go mode.
Indeed. Checking just to make sure that he does in fact have all the badges. Yeah, I believe that he didn't mark when he got the rainbow badge, I think, or one of the Kanto badges, because I was looking at his tracker on his stream and he was 1 badge short based on his marking, and I think right after beating Jasmine, he was like, wait a minute, I'm only 1 badge off. That is at least what it seemed like.
You'll have that. Like I said, I was panicking the whole race, thinking half that whole race, thinking I mismarked something.
Yeah, you did
So, like,
almost miss 1 item, right? Didn't you? You forgot to talk to Kurt immediately. You did the rival first.
Yes, I went down. I started rival. I was like, in the middle of rival, I was like, wait, I didn't talk to Kurt.
Yeah, we
turned
were
around, I was like, oh.
we were worried because that was the Pokegear. That was kind of important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that on my notes for questions about forgetting Kurt, and then you went back and I crossed it out. So
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was that one, and then I gave up on the second basement item for Union because of the exploding.
Oh yeah.
The exploding Kingler. 'Cause I was like,
Yes.
yeah, if I'm not gonna catch that and it's just gonna explode me, I'm just gonna skip the item until I can get that without running into a wild.
You could always just run away, but because you did have the smoke ball by that point.
Yeah, that is true.
But luckily, it did not punish you.
That is true. I did use the smoke ball too.
Yes.
It just took me a second. I
You
was like,
both
wait,
did.
I have-
You both did eventually equip it. So red fight begins. Setting up a ton of X defense doesn't really matter in the end. It seems like the best attacking move the Sphero has is just low kick, so really the perfect lead for using a Charizard here.
Truly.
And yeah, pretty easy sweep here.
It's amazing what a good main and some X items will do for you.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, unlucky. 1 HP. we both put it that. Seeking down to 1 HP.
And that is done for Fox as well. We will see if Fox is interested in coming in for an interview. Might head over to the Brazilian restream.
Oh, I did want to say, that is a new PB for me.
Oh,
I
congrats!
just noticed that, so that was nice.
Congratulations!
Yeah, by almost a minute, I believe, right?
Last night I did a practice run where I PB'd by 3 seconds, and then and then I had this one where by a minute. So
Such a weird seed up for it too.
yeah,
Looks
I
like
know,
we
but
should be
very,
getting
very
Fox in a second. There we are. Welcome, Fox. GG's.
good
GG.
game.
How
What a fun seed.
Yeah. how are you feeling about this race? How are you feeling about how the seed went?
That's blue, last location. Screw.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The square bottle being on blue for progression is not ideal.
Not the nicest thing this seed had for us.
Yeah.
That's sad. That's really, really sad.
Yeah. You did actually get, well, you were able to skip a few things in the end by doing Chuck there for the last badge, because if you had gone to the card key section and done that and then done Claire and some other stuff, you would have gotten eventually the Clear Bell as well, and then there's Tin Tower and all of that stuff. But luckily you were able to avoid doing that, but yeah. Yeah, the seed was just the seed of Charizards. You started with a Charizard and then caught another Charizard, and then Red had a Charizard. It was funny.
I'm lucky with the level 35 Charizard too.
Yeah. Yeah, so it can be
That
sometimes
has
be scary.
been saved very much.
Yeah, so Chunks actually caught the Charizard at level 38 and it had learned over Ice Beam. So he actually was also running a Charizard, but he didn't have Ice Beam the whole time because it had leveled up and learned to move over it by the time he caught it. So that was a little bit lucky on your end, but yeah. Overall, good race, both of you. You guys both did great.
Yeah,
Anything you
very-
guys want to say?
I mean, good games. Good luck on the next round. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else.
You too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
and
luck to both of you.
Yeah, we put a link in the chat to both of the runners. Go ahead and give them a follow if you want to see more from them.
Yep, and we have our links there too. I mean, you can follow us if you want to. Bash is cool.
IB's cooler, but well,
That's arguable. But yeah, if hopefully all of you guys enjoyed watching this. Tomorrow we've got some more matches from round 1. We've got 2, 4, 5 matches tomorrow, it looks like, including I have a match tomorrow. But yeah, stay tuned to all the SpeedGaming channels if you are interested in watching more of this item randomizer stuff. We've got 5 matches tomorrow, 3 matches on Sunday, 2 matches on Monday, and then after that, I believe we will start scheduling for the next round. So for quite a long time now, we should have a lot of these matches coming up. So stay tuned. Huge thanks to SpeedGaming for letting us host this. Thank you to both of our runners for the great race, and thank you to Bash for commentating with me.
Thank you, IB.
And
Thank
with
you
that,
guys.
And
we
thanks to
are-
everybody watching, too.
Yes, thank you, all of you guys. None of this would be possible without you guys as well for watching. And yeah, we're going to call it there. Have a good day, night, whatever time, and see you guys later.